everybody, Cliff Barron from Remax here with my weekly update for Milton and Glen Williams, Georgetown areas for the weeks of August 16th to 22nd, 2020. Before I get to that, there's a little tip for you. Maybe not a tip, but just a little bit of information. I get this all the time, and there's so many gray areas involved in this. It's to do with the holdover clause on a contract. When you sign a listing agreement with an agent, about 3/4 of the way down the page on the first page, there's a holdover clause. After the commission is negotiated and everything, there's a holdover clause. We usually put 90 days, just standard comes up as 90 days. So what does that mean? That's the question. People always ask, what the heck does that mean? Technically, it means, if you look at the fine print, it means if I list your home and it's seen by millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people, and then I have, say, 15, 20 people actually come in to visit the home through an open house or with their agent, but they don't offer on the house, and then a couple months later, 3 months later, the house doesn't sell, it expires. Basically, the holdover clause kicks in as soon as it expires. So technically, anybody that came into that open house, if they come back after it expires, knock on the door and try and deal directly with you or with their agent, you're still entitled to the commission. The agent is still entitled to the commission, so you still have to pay the commission. But the question is, when does this come into play? And I've been in this business for 15 years and done over 500 deals, and 0 times this has come into play. And I don't know of anybody who's ever had it come into play, but there is one scenario. Well, anyways, let me explain. When people come in an open house, they look at the house, and then they call their agent. They come in again to look at the house, but they don't put an offer in, and then the house expires, and then they come back when it's relisted again and put an offer in. There's absolutely no way to cross-reference who that agent came in with, so that's why it's all just doesn't make sense. But here's one scenario where it does take place, and so say agent A has a house listed, agent Smith, say Mr. Smith has a house listed, agent Smith. I bring in an offer on agent Smith's house, and they decline the offer, and then the listing expires, and then my clients go to me, hey, I noticed it's off the market. Can you knock on the door and see if you can make a deal with them? Basically, I have a complete paper trail. They have a complete paper trail of that offer that came in, so they know exactly the name of the people that came in. So if I try to do that offer after it's expired, I can't. It's against my code of ethics, for one thing. Secondly, the original agent is still entitled to commission because that holdover clause absolutely does apply. So that's the only case, and that is so incredibly rare that I've never seen it happen. So when it comes to a holdover clause, when an agent comes in and says the holdover is 90 days, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. You could put 0 days, it really doesn't matter. You could put 90 days, you could put 180 days, it rarely matters. 60, 90 is standard, so it's up to you, but I do 90, and the only way to technically check, even if a buyer came through an open house and then they expired and then they put the offer in 2 months later, but that was during the 90-day holdover period, the agent would have to somehow go on the land registry, check out who the actual buyer is, and then go back to their notes and see if they actually came to the open house. And then if they did, they would have to somehow pursue this in court, which is just, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. There's not enough of a paper trail to get anywhere, and agents know that, so we never pursue it. It's just, it's completely useless. So anyways, getting to the, so don't be scared. I was going to say scared, but don't be afraid of the holdover clause. It's not a big deal, really. You can do 30, 60, 90. You can even do 0 if you want, but it doesn't matter. Okay, getting to the sales for Milton and Georgetown, Glen Williams for August 16th to the 22nd. It's been very busy in Milton and in Georgetown. Very, very busy. 2020, we did 53 deals last week, as opposed to the last year, 34. So you can see sales are still, they're still going pretty steady. And I check the stats 3-4 times a day. I'm always on the system checking things, and I see over asking on so many deals right now. It's pretty surprising. The average, let's see, 34 detached. The average sale was 1.043 and 1 million. 8 days on the market, so 8 days to sell $1 million home. 5 semis sold at 823, 9 days on the market. and 14 towns sold at 720, 5 days on the market. Condos a little bit slower. I think the theory is people are working from home. They realize they can work from home, so they're kind of migrating out of the city into the suburbs a little bit more to get a little bit more land, like moving out of a condo in the city, so they don't want to move into a condo in the suburbs. So that's why they're going for town semi-detached. Even the detached are really taking off. And then we get to Georgetown, Glen Williams. There's been a couple of really big sales in Georgetown and Glen Williams, so that's why it skewed the numbers up. A few in the 1.8, 1.4, 1.6 range in the past week. Let's see, in 2020, this week we had 27 sales as opposed to 17 last year at the same time. So things are really moving. And if you look compared to the week before, we had 15. So we almost doubled in the past week, the week before, the sales. So Georgetown has really taken off. And the average detached in Georgetown, like I said, there's been some higher sales, so it's kind of skewed the numbers up a bit. But 22 detached sold. 1.106 is the average. And like I said, there's the bigger one, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. But 7 days on the market. 7 days, that's incredible. 2 semis sold $6.99 on average, 6 days on the market, and 3 towns sold $7.25 on average, 6 days on the market as well. So things are moving. Things are moving really well. You know, like if you're thinking of selling, now is a primo time. Usually it starts to slow this time of year, and then September it kind of starts to pick up again when the kids get back to school. In October, November we have that fall season when things really get busy again. But it just hasn't stopped. As soon as COVID, you know, the fear of COVID kind of went away, things have just roared back. So anyways, any questions, let me know. Send me a DM, PM. If you have any questions about that holdover clause, you know, let me know, and I'll explain it more in detail. And send me a DM, PM, phone call, whatever, email. Even email's good. And I'll be sure to help you out. Thanks again, Cliff Barron from Remax. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.